welcome to the season 3 premiere of the Mustang Blueprint. I am host John O'Brien with co-host
Morgan Muller.
And today our guest is
Mike Munford, Director of Public Safety.
So let's dive right into it. Mike, our first question for you is like, give a little background of yourself and like public safety and what it is.
Okay. Well, a little background about myself. This is my 27th year here on campus. I come from a small town in Georgia called Cedartown, Georgia. I have a bachelor's degree and a Bachelor of Science degree in business, and I have a Master's of Science degree in business, and I've got 35 years of law enforcement and safety and security experience. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I'm married. I have 2 adult children, one that still lives here in the city of Marshall, and I have 6 beautiful grandchildren. So, and I thank all of you guys for inviting me in to have a conversation.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So what kind of got you interested in being the head of security here at SMSU?
That's a good question. 27 years ago, God, when I even say 27 years, that's such a long time.
You're not dating yourself too much.
Yeah, well, my wife and I decided to look at new opportunities or different opportunities in business and for professional development. And at that time, I was working as the public safety director at a college called Shorter College in Rome, Georgia. And I was looking for some different opportunities. My wife and I was looking. So I started putting in applications across the country, and I got an invitation to come and see SMSU, and it was Southwest State at that time. Mm-hmm. So I came, and I fell in love with it. I mean, I really liked the way the university took pride in educating its students, and they really cared about the well-being of their students. And I thought, wow, that really matches my values. And I thought that was something perfect. To me, it was a perfect fit. So 27 years later, I'm here. So that's kind of what got me here. I was doing the work before I got here. This is my second stint as a public safety director. And I just really got a really good feeling when I came to interview. And after that, it was, in my mind, it was like, great. If the family is willing to do it, I'm ready to go. So when I came, my wife and I and children sat down, and I said, okay, let's hang in here at least 5 years, and if we don't like it, we'll find something else. And 5 years came and passed, and I had another job offer. And I can still remember the family meeting where I'm telling the family that, hey, I got another offer. I promised you if you didn't like it, we'd be gone in 5 years. And they was like, we're not going anywhere. We're staying. So what I thought would only last 5 years, it's 27 years down the road. So, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
That's awesome.
With the application process and getting hired here, did you have to was it letters that were sent your way to apply, or did you?
Well, there's a magazine for higher ed. It's called Chronicle of Higher Education. And within that magazine, there's a lot of job vacancies that are posted. So I would just get the Chronicle of Higher Ed, and I would look at the jobs and see if it matched my talents, my preferences, and so forth. And I would go out, and then I would just send my resume. And I can recall around that time, I probably had maybe 6 or 7 interviews. I had 3 or 4 offers, and this offer stood out to me because it was, like I said, I just loved the feeling I got when I came on this campus. And I got an opportunity to visit the city of Marshall and look at housing and get a little bit of understanding of the educational pieces for my children. And it all just fit very well and matched. So to me, it was a no-brainer that I'd come and the family would come.
With that, moving on to our next question is you've been here for 27 years now. What type of security have you provided? What is the job as head of public safety?
Well, my job personally is to provide for a comprehensive safety and security department. And it's what you would think. We do bike, vehicle, and foot patrol. My job is to make sure that our emergency plans are there, that we test those plans, And we test those plans and making sure that in the unlikely event of an emergency that we can all respond and have a coordinated response. I work very closely with the Loudoun County Sheriff's Department, with the City of Marshall, and all the first responders, just to make sure something happens that we're all that we're able to respond to it in a unified way. So we all work together. We've also trained together. So those are the things as a public safety director I do. I make sure my staff is well trained. I make sure that we're providing preventive education to our communities. So those are some of the jobs that I do as a public safety director.
Yeah. So with the new year, with the new school year, now we're kind of in the middle of the semester here, but were there any like unique challenges that kind of arise during the beginning of the year that you wouldn't necessarily see?
Well, it's not unique in the sense that it happens every year, but it's a little different because each class that comes in as freshmen are a little bit different, right? Mm-hmm. So you can imagine trying to onboard a large segment of your community every year, because most of those young people haven't left home for an extended time. So we have a large portion of our community that's leaving home for the first time. So we need to make sure that, A, they understand our safety protocols, B, they understand how to reach out for our resources on campus. So that's the kind of the unique piece of it. Mm-hmm. But I even love that, because if someone understands how education can change the trajectory of one's life, I mean, it's just humbling to be able to watch young people come in with their dreams and desires to achieve their educational endeavors. And then you get to see them on graduation. They're so excited and they fulfilled that commitment. So it's just, for me, it's humbling.
So does it change like every year? Like how at the beginning of the school year, do you see like an uptick of crime on campus, or does it depend on the year?
No, I don't think there's, obviously at the start of each year, you're going to have issues. Anytime you get the number of people we have on our campus, it comes on our campus on a day-to-day basis, you're going to have incidents, obviously. But it's, from a year to year, it's not dramatic. And our student body is an excellent group of people. So I don't really have to worry about that. But you do have to worry, because things do happen. We're not without crime. The community is, the standards of the quality of living in our community is high. So the prevalence of crime is low. So, as a security director, public safety director, it's an ideal spot to land.
So would you say that Marshall is probably one of the best communities around the state of like Minnesota then?
I am biased. I will say yes. For instance, when I say that, I just found out today that, well, in 2021, the university was recognized as one of the safest campuses in Minnesota. I just received a communication today that the university for 2026 is rated in the top 10 safest campus in the state of Minnesota, but also the top 15% of all campuses in the nation. So that's pretty significant. Now that's, a lot of people say, Mike, that's great. You're doing a great job. But it's not about me, because it's about all of us. When you see something like that, it's not about you, per se, your public safety department. It's about the community, because we're doing a lot of good things right. And when people see something that's out of the normal, or they see something that they know that shouldn't happen, they report it. So they see something, they say something. So that's when you get that type of recognition. It does not mean that your public safety department is doing all these things. What it means is that your community is taking a unified approach to it and providing the necessary information when things happen, so public safety people like me can respond and make sure we take care of it. So, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that did, definitely. I feel like there is a strong correlation between the community and then also what you guys do hand in hand.
Absolutely.
My next question for you here is, what do you guys have in terms of like protocols to keep campus safe?
Well, when I think of campus, keeping campus safe, there's several things that happen. There's the piece with the administration where there's what I call an all hazards plan. That's the strategic plan that the university will follow in case of an event that happens. So that plan has to be addressed every year. You have to make sure that it's updated, and you have to make sure you train on it. So every year I'm in front of the president and the cabinet, making sure that we're actually completing emergency training. I am currently working with various departments around campus to make sure that their department has emergency plans in case of an emergency that happens. Something that the Dean of Students has done that I really appreciate. Every student on our campus that comes to our campus is required as a part of orientation to watch the Run, Hide, and Fight video. That's how you would respond in the event of a active attacker on campus, which I think is huge. So those are the kind of things we do to make sure we keep our campus safe. There's the crime prevention piece. I employ a violence prevention specialist within the public safety office. So we're constantly doing different type of safety campaigns. We're out providing programming within our residential halls. So there's a lot of things that go into making sure your campus is safe.
So do you also do like events on campus that will try to say, hey, try to keep campus safe at all?
Yes, that's part of the violence prevention specialist job, is to bring safety campaigns to campus to make sure that, we make people aware and we help educate those people, for domestic abuse month or whatever that safety campaign month is that we have. We're actually bringing that out to our students. We're doing tablings. We're making sure that we inside our residential halls bringing that type of programs. And for me, I get a chance to go into the classroom and talk to students about safety and so forth. So we're always trying to make sure that we put the preventive piece first.
So trying to keep campus safe is a priority here.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that stood out in my mind when I was hired. That's one of the things I get up every morning thinking about. How do I make sure that I am creating a culture of safety? What am I doing to make sure that I'm constantly making sure that I'm trying to do everything possible to make sure that there's respect and that we're providing the education that is needed to make sure that people can protect themselves in the event of an emergency. So those are the things that I get up thinking about in the morning to make sure I can continue that climate of safety for our campus.
Absolutely. So you did touch on this a little bit ago, but I just want to kind of reiterate this. Are there like specific safety protocols for the residence halls here on campus, just like as an incoming freshman or somebody who is mainly living in the dorms? Are there specific things?
There are specific protocols. For one, every freshman that comes in, lives on campus, there's going to be a certain amount of programs that they have to complete. Let's back up before we get there. The way you protect the residential area is to make sure that you keep people out that's unauthorized. So that's why the complex are locked 24 hours a day. And then you got to make sure that the people that inhabit those complexes understand the safety protocols, to make sure that they understand how to get out of the building in case of a fire. They know where the exits are located, what to do in the case of an active attacker on our campus. So those are the kind of things that's going on inside the residential life department to make sure that the students are brought up to speed on how to protect themselves, how to protect their property, and so forth. And also, that's that conversation that we start at that point to make sure that everyone understands that safety is a shared responsibility.
Keeping this thought of keeping campus safe going, we had like homecoming a few weeks ago. So my next question has to do with like a special event like homecoming. Do you guys take like extra precautions with that?
Sure, good question. Yes, the short answer to that is yes. When we have those special events, I'm assessing. I'm completing an assessment maybe a month or so before that event happens. I'm making sure that I understand who's coming, if there's some issues surrounding whatever that may be. I'm talking to the people that are organizing those events. I'm talking to our first responders locally to make sure they understand what's happening on our campus. So if there is an emergency that happens, they can respond and respond accordingly. So yes, there's a lot of things that go into bringing a concert to campus. Even before that concert reaches our campus, there's conversations with like I said, the organizers, campus leadership, to first responders that would have to come to our campus in the event of an emergency during the event. So there's a lot of planning pre-planning that goes into bringing some type of concert or any type of large gathering to our campus.
You mentioned the concert. Did you have to take a different step this year with planning with that? Because I know that was new this year with having a concert before the game and after the game.
No, not really. Well, the difference is the personnel that I'm going to have on because I need personnel. I need additional personnel prior to the event. I need additional personnel during the event and after the event. So no, I mean, it's just basically how you allocate your staff at that time. So because you've already done the pre-planning, you're pretty comfortable with your emergency plans, you're comfortable with your event plans. And so basically all is just shifting people from one area to the next to make sure you can cover whatever that time, that gap is that you have to fill. So it wasn't really a lot that I had to do differently. It's just placing personnel in place to make sure that they were there to provide safety and security for the concert.
So I am going to flip back a little bit again. You did talk about you work very closely with the Marshall Police Department and the Lyon County Sheriff's Office. How often do you think that you communicate with them? And
good question.
What does that process kind of look like?
I know the Chief Marshall and I, probably on a typical semester, we may have lunch together here on campus twice. There's, depending on what's going on, we're having constant phone calls. So I don't have a number, but it is a very close relationship. I mean, I get to see a lot of the officers that work with Jim that come by the office to see me and my associate director. So it's, we don't have, there's no regular scheduled meetings right now, but again, we do see each other quite often. So I would say on average during the semester, Chief Marshall and I are probably connecting maybe 5 or 6 times. For instance, right after homecoming, we're on the phone talking, and I'm asking the question is, how did things go for you out there? Was there, how did our student body, was there any issues there? And for the last several years, that answer has been very positive. And as well as this one, there was no major or significant incidents that took place after our homecoming. So very, very pleased with that. So we're constantly in contact with each other.
So when a crime on campus occurs, do you call them up and ask for help when there's a crime on campus? Do you ask for help from the Marshall
University of Public Safety has a memorandum of understanding with the Marshall Police Department, and what that memorandum does is basically spells out that in the case of an emergency or if a crime is committed on campus, we share resources, we share information. So that memorandum of understanding kind of guides us with our relationship. Because there's been times to say, hey, Mike, what do you need? What can we do? How can we assist you? So yes, we do have a memorandum of understanding with the Marshall Police Department, and that is something that we on a routine basis actually apply, because if a crime happens on campus and it falls within their jurisdiction, they're here and we assist them in whatever way we can, if that makes sense.
So then do they basically take it over as a case then? Yes.
If there's a criminal incident that takes place on our campus, they have full jurisdiction over that case. We can assist, but they're law enforcement and that's their jurisdiction, and we're only there to assist them at that time.
I liked how you broke that down. That made it a little bit easier to process. I appreciate that. So in the overall grand scheme of things, you would say that our campus is pretty safe.
Our campus is extremely safe. And as a public safety official, one of the things that, and this is real, but one of the things I have more concern on is convincing people that you still have to take safety precautions. When I first arrived here here in Minnesota and at the campus, people left their cars running, people still leave their doors unlocked. That's just not safe. So one of the things, since the quality of living in our community is high, you have to really really put out there to our community that it only takes one time to become a victim. Yes, we're safe, but you have to do some things to make sure you're providing for your own safety of your person and your property. So that's a big piece of our conversation, just making sure people understand. Yeah, we have a wonderful campus, have a safe campus, but it's not without crime. It will happen. And most crimes that occur on college campus are crimes of opportunity. So we have to make sure people are putting their valuables away. And we have to make sure people understand if you're out at night, make sure you walk in groups and so forth, and let people know where you're going. So if something does happen, more than likely you can get some assistance. So it's those kind of things that you have to be concerned about.
Yeah.
My next question would be do you ever get together with other heads of public safety and have meetings and talk about hey, what's crime on your campus and
Sure.
this and that?
I have colleagues all over the country, but within the MSU system, there's numerous meetings that I have to attend that I'm constantly either on Zoom in those meetings or actually present at those meetings, where we get all the public safety directors across the state together and we discuss trends or issues that each campus is having, and we talk about what's the best practices to address those issues. So yes, good question.
Definitely. So as we are getting closer to our time, is there any closing thoughts that you have, something that you might want somebody to take away from this talk? And then also, if you could provide the phone number so that we can reach the public safety as well. The
way you can connect with my office, and we're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The number to public safety is 507-537-7252. You can call us at any time. And if that number rings over to the sheriff's department, which we have a contract with the sheriff's department to provide our dispatch services, don't hang up. Just say, hey, I'm calling for service at the university. This is what I need. And they'll radio my staff, and they'll be able to fulfill that request for service, whatever that is. And I guess for me, if I was going to leave this interview with anything said, I would say, God, I can't think of anything that I would want to say right now, other than we have a safe campus. And one of the things that I'll say this. I think we have the best student body around, and I've been on many campuses. I get the opportunity to meet some wonderful people just about every day, and it's just humbling to see that. And I'm so confident to say that it comforts me to say that I believe we have a bright future ahead of us, because we have a lot of wonderful young people on our campuses and across our nation. But I'm speaking directly about this campus, and I still have hope. So I guess that will be my parting shot.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us today. We really appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me.
What services or offers do you guys give to SMSU as a whole for students?
We provide different kind of IT services to students, both students who are on campus and off campus. So it ranges from things like, hey, my password expired, I need help with resetting that, or I cannot access my SMSU email, or D2All, or just any IT services, e-services,